happening, fans? We're live from around the town. Welcome to Seattle, where we have the home Seattle Tempest taking on the best of the West, the rest of the West. I'm Zigno Zag,
I'm Charlie Mercer.
and we're here for a great showcase game here. It's Seattle summer, mid 70s, a light breeze, fresh off the ocean. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm amped for this opportunity for the Tempest to come out and get to play in front of their home crowd yet again.
Oh yeah.
We are just on the heels of an incredible playoff game. The Seattle Cascades in the UFA just hosted their first playoff game in team history. And the Cascades won in a tough, really well-fought match against the Oakland Spiders, thus earning them a berth into the second round of the playoffs and the opportunity to go challenge Salt Lake on August 10th. So the crowd here is warmed up. People are ready.
Oh yeah.
And there's also a little bit of chaos in the ensuing area around Seattle. So Seattle, beautiful place to be in the summer. Seattle is hosting Seafair Weekend, which is just a huge celebration. There are boat races, there are flyovers, lots of amazing events happening, very family friendly, really an anchor point to the Seattle summer. And there is a parade to kick off Seafair, which is really culminating sort of towards the end of the week and next weekend. But that right now is going to be, that has caused a bunch of the roads, that parade is happening as we speak, is sort of just wrapping up, and a lot of the roads around Seattle have been closed. And so it has made access to Memorial Stadium, which is in the downtown Seattle, more challenging.
Traffic is already bad. If you know, you know.
Truth. So it's made getting here that much harder. So should we take a look at these rosters?
Let's do it.
So let's first take a look at that Tempest roster. Some notes about our Tempest roster. We have Tempest from 2024. We got Tempest from past seasons making their appearances on this roster. And there's the potential for even some future 2025 Tempest players to make an appearance. So I want to highlight specifically number 10, Lexi Garrity, who is coming back. Lexi, who had a concussion last fall and, has been just the beating heart in some of the same ways that Mark Munoz is the beating heart of the Cascades. Lexi Garrity is the beating heart of the Seattle Tempest, and really wasn't able to play this season because she needed the time and space to let her head heal. And so now that she is back, she is gunning on all cylinders and stoked to be on this field for the showcase game. Another player that I particularly want to highlight as a sort of returning player is 82 Kim Schlesinger. Played with the Tempest a couple of seasons ago, and it's really exciting to have Schlesinger back with us. Also want to highlight 14 Sam Rodenberg, who is played the second team for the All WL team that was relatively recently announced, and really talking about the importance that Sam has brought to this roster in stepping up her offensive efficiency, not just scoring goals, but really throwing goals toward the end of the season, and that her ability to make big plays has been pretty critical for this Tempest offense. Anyone sticking out to you?
I saw Ikran Elmi out there getting warm. Really, really solid handler in the backfield. Icky with the flicky. Definitely back in full effect. And Sadie Jazerski with the just sheer torque and power that we can see on some of these deep looks, and just overall a very crafty and steady hand for Seattle.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our roster for the West. Who do we have playing with us for the West today? As we think about this roster for the West, you will see a number of players. A lot of these players some of them are names you've heard. Paige Kircher, right? We're going to be saying Kircher's name up and down this broadcast tonight.
Kircher.
Throwing dimes. But there are also players on here who are from this sort of aspiring Oregon Onyx team. So Onyx wasn't able to field a team in the WL this past season, but we are hoping that they are able to come back. And so highlighting 89 Reina Kamrat was really solid for the Onyx 2 seasons ago. And so, like, really excited to see what she brings to the field today as sort of like a younger college player, like, has, recently graduated high school, just at the beginning of college, but just plays with so much poise and confidence in the way she directs in the backfield. Who are you excited to see?
Also on this roster, because there was a couple people who weren't able to attend. Unfortunately, there there were some Seattle area pickups. People who weren't on a WL roster. I see number 0, Kayla Pina, and number 3, Megan Louie and Kelly Tam. Um, I've known them for a while, and I know they all know exactly what to do and and where to be. It's exciting for Seattle people to see people who aren't on the Tempest compete against the Tempest, and yeah, we'll see who comes out with some highlights and some overall good vibes as we have the coin toss going on down at the field right now.
When we think about these games and like why do we have these Tempest games? Why do we have these showcase games? Like what's the purpose? I as I was cleaning this week, I found a photo from the last time the Tempest did a showcase game in 2021. And it was Tempest versus the West. And that photo, we're all playing in masks. It was one of the first
Yeah.
big games coming out of COVID. And I am on the fields in that photo. And when I saw that photo, it just grounded me so much in why we play these games. We play these games to create opportunities for women and non binary players to get hyped, to have people talking about them, to showcase their skills, their abilities. And they bring so much to this field. And we're often overlooked. And for me as a player, years later, I still love that opportunity of having broadcasters talk about the plays I was making, people
Oh yeah.
hyping up what I'm doing, my friends, my family getting to watch me on a stream or in the crowd. Like, it's those moments, they're just absolutely beautiful. And so much thanks to the Titcomb family, the owners of the Seattle Cascades and the Seattle Tempest franchises, for committing to and creating these opportunities, additional chances to showcase women and non-binary players getting to play on the field. They did a lot of work to make this happen, and that like relentless commitment to creating these avenues, like, that's what this is about. And it's so meaningful to these players on the field. We are in for a real treat here today, and more importantly, like, let's hype these players up.
Hmm.
I am stoked for some highlight reel plays. Talking to the leaders of both these teams, I think that we can expect some trick plays, and
Oh,
I think players are going to look for the opportunity to showcase what they have and take advantage of this opportunity.
one thing about this opportunity is that as we see some of the youth out here watching, is like young people who identify as women or binary, and anything in between, getting a chance to see like that could be you. You could be out here making these plays. So
Well, and you were talking like players like Kelly Tam, who, is an aspiring Tempest player, is like getting to be out here on the field with Tempest players and showing that they belong in this field too.
oh yeah. Oh, first doink of the game. Insta shot right back at you. Kirkland there to make sure nothing happens too drastic. Walking it back to the line. Let's try this again. 30 seconds into the game. Decker connects to Garrity. That heartbeat. Scoobers over the top. QB1, Cheryl Sue lets one go. Decker goes downstairs.
That was a great bid by Decker.
Pushes it up. Jazerski. Hammer over the top. Dialed it in. Lexi Garrity, welcome back.
Opening point, Garrity hits the ground 2 times. Classic Garrity. I think that opening point is indicative of what we can expect in some of this game. We have players that haven't played together in a while, still like kind of getting used to each other. It is the off season for the WUL. Players are, sort of dispersing and playing elsewhere. And there's still a lot of talent here. Players are looking to send it deep, right? Like this shot from Sue. Sue did that so much during the season. Really effective in terms of gaining yards for Tempest. Decker did a great job reeling that in.
Oh yeah.
And we have some doinks as people are getting back into it. Love the closing hammer from Jazerski.
Decker making her way to Seattle from Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, you got a little fondness for Alaska there?
Oh yeah.
Zig is from Alaska, for those of you not in the know.
My family's from Alaska. I'm from Seattle.
Sorry.
It's fair, it's all right. And here we go. We get a chance to look at the old line here for the West. Barter gets it off. Kircher connects downfield. Here's Zolk. Barter knocking on the end zone. Elects to go around. Throw. No go. Lucy Tanner gets in there, makes a play. Seattle with a break opportunity. Elmy now. D-line handler. There goes the flick. Here's Whiffler. Seattle settles down into their offense now. Jason Lee over the fingertips as the West gets a chance to right the ship. Here comes Kircher. Ooh, a tight window shot. Traffic downfield. Kayla lets it rip. Kelly Tam going. Ooh, trailing out of bounds. Cherry picking up. Gain some yards to Lee. Lee puts it out there. There goes Meyer now. Oh, I admire that cut. Elmy to Lee in the end zone. We've seen that before. Yay, yay.
I really miss getting to watch this Tempest play together. There is a, and a hush comes over the crowd. So a hush comes over the crowd. It's like, and like a love comes over the field. Like the way these players play together, you can just feel how much they have affection for each other, and that fondness comes through in the way they throw to each other, the way they celebrate each other. It's a really beautiful thing to see.
Oh yeah, I've gotten a chance to coach with Akron and Yason.
What's it like?
It's really fun. They're always down to pick up the slack here and there. It's just kind of like they really enjoy being around each other, and it's just fair. as we see rolling, getting us into this point. Expect us to see a big play from rolling in this game. The pull goes out of bounds. Walking it to the brick.
When we were highlighting players on the Tempest roster, I was certainly remiss to not mention Caitlin Rolling. I'm setting the line now. I think that Rolling will get
Oh, here we go.
3.5 blocks this game.
Okay, here we go. We're going to keep that number in our heads, folks. Oof. Rolling. Zips it in there. Jezerski using the airspace. Schlesinger called in. Jezerski creatively uses the space. Gets a break for Seattle. Another one.
I think Jezerski's style of play is utterly perfect for a showcase game. Jezerski, like, she has such creative throw making that there's so much that she can do with the disc. And she's so willing to just like launch it and be like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna throw this blade cross fields. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna hook it deep. And I think it's really, like, I think we will continue to get a lot of joy out of watching Jezerski play this game.
Oh yeah, just confidence. Confidence. And as the crowd is getting hyped, here's Rolling on the pull.
Throwing free t-shirts into the crowd.
Oh yeah. Could be you. Come catch a t-shirt. You still got time. As here's Kircher. Lets one go. Running deep is Williams. Cass. Thinking about it. Finds a safety valve in Barter. Woo! Kayla, number 0, all business, gets the first score for the West.
I think that opening play is, you know, you can see that both Cass Williams and Paige Kircher are wearing their Utah Wild jerseys. I think that when you are putting together sort of a conglomerate team like the West, it's really helpful to rely on the chemistry and the experience of Kircher and Williams. So like on that initial play, Kircher gets it, sees Williams going deep, and using that familiarity puts it right out to space for Williams, who's a really talented receiver, to run onto. And then again, Williams just like looking to get it, move it, keep going down the field. And, you know, Kayla did a great job plugging into the holes in that offense. But I think that for the West to be successful, like any sort of showcase team, it's a matter of how quickly can we build chemistry, and the best way to do that is to rely on the chemistry that you already have from like outside and past experiences.
Indeed. Kirkland up to Sue. What do? You look for Yason. Oh, getting in there. Denied as the West with a break chance here. Here's Megan Louie. Ugh. Puts it on a platter. This is Hartnett. Oh, just out of reach for Zoe Tuh. Sue picks up, shoots to the middle, nothing doing. The West with another chance here. On connects downfield. Woo! Sabrina Hartnett collects, and that's a break for the West.
That was really great movement by the West, able to capitalize on the short field turn. Posing for the camera. Perfect.
Small hearts in the chat.
That's an important early break. After having the sort of connections that Seattle has built showing through to take them to an early lead, that hints that we might have a competitive game here. Really great form on that throw.
Amy Lou connects downfield.
Amy Lou coming from Vancouver to play with us down today. Part of a potential prospective Vancouver team.
Ooh. Expansion.
But really, we're mostly just hoping that we're going to get this Oregon team back. Come on, Onyx. Come on, Onyx.
Seattle now on offense. Ooh, Schlesinger. Cherry digs it out. Well-timed cut. Anakachi.
I learned today that we have been saying her name wrong forever, and that everyone says her name wrong, so she has just stopped correcting people, and there's only a small select few that know the correct pronunciation of her name.
Let me know. I feel bad.
Cushy.
Oh, Cushy with the dime to Elmi. Okay, I'll remember that now.
Cushy proving that she can do more than just catch deep goals. Was out for much of the Tempest season because of injury, and so had to take a break, but really her specialty is getting open in the end zone. Very rarely has to throw assists because she has successfully caught the goal. But, there she got the assist to Elmi.
4-2 now. 5:30 left in the first. Looks like there's zero to little breeze going on right now in this swirly stadium. Jezerski's pull lands, and here comes a new look from Seattle. Ugh. Lexi Garrity gets the block.
Throwing that zone, turning out to be effective.
Kirkland. Jezerski. Eee!
Louis trying not to get trucked there.
Avoids disaster. Collects a goal. Sadie Jezerski.
For almost all of the points that she's been on the field, maybe even all of them, Jezerski has either thrown the goal or caught the goal.
Plus minus got to be going up.
Both teams a little bit short on handlers tonight. And so I think that, a key here will be for both teams to have players that are, driving upfield like Jezerski just did there, but also able to flex back into the handler space. And, Jezerski can sometimes be great to have downfield as a cutter, right? Her ability to make an opening cut and then hug it the full length of the field is lethal for an offense. And pulling her back into the handler set also clearly is being really effective tonight.
And that pivot around low backhand is tough. As a miscommunication, as one could happen in a showcase game. Seattle with a quick break opportunity here. Bert Cherry picking up for Seattle. Tanner wide open. Gained some yards to Lee. Lee, what do you see? Gets the hockey assist, dumps to Cherry, Cherry to Whiffler. That's a break for Seattle. His total is now 6-2. Big hearts.
Bridget Whippler, concerned, works for the city of Redmond, thinking about sustainability for the city. recent graduate from the University of Washington. Catching goals there like it ain't no thing.
And then they missed, so they were going, and then they were trying.
You don't see no haters.
We're not live right now.
Got a good smile for the camera. Also, recently gained a niece. She is not a niece.
Auntie.
So yeah, so is now an auntie to an adorable little baby. We're a little baby crazy over here. Shout out to all the parents, babies.
Oh, yeah. Professional uncle over here. Professional.
What makes you a professional?
My roster is full. Here
Well,
we
this
go.
Tempest roster is full of blocks that they're gonna get out of the zone.
Ooh, just out of the hands of Cameron. Seattle with another op. Cheryl. Eee! Pluck it out of the sky and let it rip. Caitlin rolling. That's a good idea. I do this. Come on.
The attitude Rolling has when she just like drops the disc. I'm a powerhouse. I know it.
I must use this power for good.
A little kid ran onto the field with their Seattle flag. It's stinking adorable.
Oh yeah. Family friendly over here.
I also really like the shape and edge that she could put on that throw. By like throwing it high, there's just that like extra chance of like having the receivers make a play on it. Yeah, there are the kids. Look how cute they are. You can see down there in that end zone, a number of the Cascades players who just won their playoff game are hanging out down there, cheering on the Tempest, celebrating their win and supporting their community. Really love the cross connection between teams.
Really basking in that glory. Hanging out at the slope. And Barter connects to Kayla.
That's one.
That
One
is
block
one.
rolling.
The line's at 3.5, folks. Rodenberg. It's throwing me off. During the season, they always wore a hat. Helmy puts it up for Decker.
Williams with the block.
That's wild.
Ba-dum-tsh.
Thank you. Peacock gets it off. Ooh. Little miscommunication. Signs of little chemistry from the West. As we move downfield, Louis connects. There's Peacock. Let's go. As Rolling gets another one. That's two.
I mean, if we're 2 in the first quarter, like, I'm feeling good.
Oh, yeah. Lexi Garrity scoops it out. Now to Cherry. Elmy gets the center. Moves off of it. Decker to Rolling. Williams leaves their feet. Nothing doing. Shot goes up. Garrity. Not enough gas. Too much space.
Williams already having a really strong, like, first quarter for the West. I think Castique Williams is definitely a player to keep your eye on. That was a really nice defensive bid on Rolling. I mean, wasn't able to close it, but watch out. 3.
That is 3. One more and you got it. Up to Decker. called not in. Rolling, gets the jump in.
That was 3 Ds in 1 point.
First quarter is flying by.
With about a minute left in this first quarter. Seattle leading. Decker has really strong fundamentals, and you could see it there as she's catching the disc on the goal line, kind of directing traffic for where she wants players.
For sure.
You see Pam Krause on your screen. Pam Krause was one of the Tempest coaches from this year and is coaching the Tempest roster this year.
Go.
Pam is part of the USA Ultimate Hall of Fame and is such a smart brain for Ultimate. And you can see that with her, oh, we're gonna run these zone sets. She's cutthroat about winning. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to coach my team and get them in the best position possible to succeed.
And the proof is in the pudding for that one. Ooh, Kelly Tam saving the day right there. Not all heroes wear capes. A little swirly here. What the? That was cool.
Highlight reel play. Jazerski through 3 defenders coming down with that, and then immediately busting up line, putting up this huck to Sue. Jazerski, again, if you are taking players if you're gonna play a game, I want Jazerski. She's my top pick. Gonna do some fantasy over here.
Oh yeah. It was essentially fantasy.
Another point Jazerski played. Another point she contributed to the score.
It's real life. Barter lets it go. Cameron in pursuit. Ooh, legging it out. Wow. Reina. I want to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, that play by Cameron is, I think, so much of what we saw when they were playing for the Onyx. It's, really stoked to have them back on the field making those plays again. They do a great job finding that space and creating separation. They're not necessarily the tallest or the fastest, but they always seem to get open.
Just know where to be. The underrated skill.
With that, we are at the end of the first quarter, and we will be back in just a moment for the second. See you shortly.
Fish in pursuit, but it is caught. Teresa Zettner.
What an incredible!
Oh my goodness, the layout grab from Kristen Pajunas.
I just stood up. I couldn't even sit for that. First of all, the angle of that throw. Second of all, the finish. And watch the inside out. Just look at the angle of this throw. What a great grab.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Sue, and I'm number 24. This year's team is going to look a little bit different, but I'm excited to see this version of Tempest build our identity and find our way to play and represent Seattle as a new group. Winning back-to-back titles was awesome, but we never want to be satisfied with what we've achieved in the past. I'm sure that this year's Tempest team is going to be hungry to grow and improve, and I'm excited to continue to build chemistry and dial in our systems.
OT. Number 7, Giants and Chargers, Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. This
looks like that's Western Ultimate League Frisbee. I'd know it anywhere.
It looks like Cody Lippincott, right? Mm-hmm. Laying out, well done.
All right, so I'm going to just guess.
Hi, my name is Ikra Nilmi, or Icky. I'm number 0 on the Seattle Tempest. I feel excited. I'm excited to meet new players and continue playing with old players. Some personal goals that I have for this season is hitting the gym. Another goal that I have is just enjoying the process of playing on the Tempest team. I feel like last year it went by really fast and I don't really have as much memorable memories that I would like to have. So this year, cherishing time with players. I think the Tempest 24 is capable of doing anything that we set our minds to as long as we're committed to our goals. I think we can achieve maybe winning the championship.
Welcome back. Second quarter action here in this showcase game. We're working out the kinks here. Seattle on top by 6, but the West is gaining chemistry, and we'll see them push forward here as you're taking a look at the slope. You got the spiders and the cascades intermingling. There's a lot of cross between those two teams. As the pull is up, and here comes the West on offense. Centers to Kircher. If you were coaching in this game, Charlie, what would you say to the West?
I would have them take a beat before they throw.
Ooh.
Discussion happening on the field.
Rowan Limp going up with Jezerski.
Deciding that Limp keeps it. Conversation whether or not there was a foul on the throw. It did look like there was the trajectory of the disc was weird and would be in line if there had been some sort of foul or like some sort of contact. So the question here really would be, was that contact before the disc was released or after the disc was released?
Rowan Limp can do the worm. Fun fact. As they work it up through the middle. Woo, in the end zone. That's Peacock. Strut your stuff.
I think the other thing that the West can do here is to communicate with their voices. When you've played with players for an incredibly long time, it's easy to know where they're going to be just by pointing and really looking in their eyes. Like, oh, I know that Sue wants that flick huck down the sideline. Like, you've watched them do it so many times, so you know to cut for that throw, and that Sue is far more likely to throw a forehand than they are to throw a backhand. But when you're the West and you don't have like that time built up playing together, the way you make up for it is by talking about it with your teammates and saying, hey, I really love my forehand huck. Cut for my forehand huck. Or, hey, like, I need you to cut for my around backhand. Or, hey, send me deep. That's what I'm good at. And so it puts the onus on the players to advocate for themselves of how can they succeed? How can they look good?
Yeah, communication is very key, especially if you've never really played together. PN connects the two. Working it up the field now. Here's the West with a chance to inch closer. Hartnett. Ooh, good foot out there by Lee. Nothing doing. All the way around now. Pick called downfield. This goes back to Hahn.
Hahn has been a really important handler for the West so far. That's a really nice inside shot that they just hit. And they're doing a great job moving the disc every time they're on the field.
Yeah. Hailing from the Oregon. One of those Oregon players out here. Ooh, Sam with a good move at the front of the stack. But back to Hahn.
Han is really controlling the backfield.
Woo! Lou connects to Williams. The West gets one back.
Williams has never been stung by a bee.
What?
It's a nice fun fact.
That is a fun fact. Not today, honey. Oh, good scoop. Scoop and roll. It's good technique. Nice.
Amy Luo, who had that assist, has played some ultimate in Australia, and frequently will play for a club team in Australia. So living in Vancouver, teleporting across the globe, and coming to you in this showcase game.
The pull crashes down. Picking up is Kirkland. Kirkland and Sue, under to Rodenberg. We've heard that before. Oh. Cushy unable to corral. The West with another chance here. Kircher, veteran. Doesn't matter how many yards we lose as long as we keep the disc. We'll get it back. Ugh. There we go. Picking up steam. Here's Zolk.
Zolk with 2 turns so far. Zolk coming from the Bay Area Falcons, and Zolk many years of playing experience.
Looks like the players are talking about a potential foul.
Argument here would be that the contact prevented her from taking the space, which is what caused there to not be a receiver on Zolk's throw.
That's Megan Louie, UW player.
What can you tell us about Megan Louie?
Megan Louie's from Seattle, South End Seattle. They have way too many pairs of Converse, apparently. And is consistent in the backfield and getting open in tight spaces and good on handler D. This is a rundown for Louie. As the shot goes in, we're back into play, and the West doesn't play.
I actually think that it's Han that has too many pairs of Converse.
Hey, it's a game. Let's go. Let's go.
Louis says that they tear up a bunch when they yawn, to the point that people think they're crying.
Aw.
That
happens to me.
It's a really nice put by Zolk there.
Just over the head there.
Really great placement and wind up, and I think, belies the experience that Zolk brings to the field. West has been on a bit of a run in this second quarter. They are now only down by 3. Seattle still leads 9-6, but they are closing that gap. Instead of being down by 5 or 6, they're only down by 3. So West is certainly building up their chemistry and able to put together, whereas the Tempest are still doing things like that, where they are throwing away those hucks. These are, not high percentage throws that Tempest is throwing away, giving the West plenty of opportunities with the ball.
On picks up, lets it go right off the rip. Zoe Tu right on the doorstep. Here's Kamrat. Gets it back.
Tuh wanted to swing that across to Williams, but Williams is like, I'm a cutter. Get me out of this handler space.
Kelly Tam putting the moves on and goes and gets a bucket. Kelly Tam shifty in the front, scores in the back.
And again, it's Han as that thrower, really anchoring the West in the backfield in this game.
Tam says, I speak like 5 languages, and one of them is buckets. Yeah,
Really
Han.
nice shape on that throw from Han. And Tam, uses, sees that the open space is that back corner and really just busts to it.
Tam really got that quick twitch. As Seattle calls a timeout here to regroup. The West building chemistry as we go along here. Like you said, this is the off season. So a lot of these players haven't really played that much together in recent memory.
I appreciate this timeout call from Pam Krause. This is that huddle speech has to sound something like, yes, put up those shots. I want you to make your teammates look good. And also, take a breath so that you are putting up the right good shots. Don't just throw something away flippantly. We still need to possess. You still need to have good form and execute on your throws. We are here to win. We are here to showcase that we are a bunch of ballers. And in order to do that, you have to still have the same intentionality with every throw, every cut. Maybe your barometer for what hucks you're going to throw is a little bit looser than it might be in some other games, but you still need to execute on each and every pass, deliver to your teammates. Because you know what's fun? What's fun is winning and scoring buckets. So let's go do that, and in order to do that, I need you to execute. Pam Krause, talk to me after the game. Tell me if I nailed your Hubble speech or not.
PN sends us into this point as Jezierski walks to it. We see that split stack with someone in the middle. Dumps it back, nothing doing downfield.
Call on the field. Remembering that the WL is players are counting their own stall count. It is a 7-second stall count.
Throw and go, Kirkland. Another thing we'll be watching out for. Oof. There's a lot of these players who haven't played in the WL yet are getting used to the rule set and how the flow of those calls are being made. There's also something that we can watch out for. Maybe not being able to rely on those calls from the observers in the appropriate times. There's a different rule set. Conversations happening. Both on the field, off the field.
You see that we are playing with observers, and these are not referees, they are observers, and because they are observers, it means that they are helping to guide the game, but generally they are not making active calls. So they are there as sort of an unbiased individual for players to go to give their perspective. And so when an observer makes a ruling, it is binding, but other than up, down, or in, out calls, they are not calling fouls as they happen. It is still incumbent on the players to make those foul calls.
Kishner lets it go, and Megan Louie through the crowd gets the West closer to Seattle as now they're down within only 1. Wow, the tides have really turned here. It was low tide, now we're high tide. Come on.
And really thanks to the play of Louie. Louie has been a It's like absolute contributing factor for a number of these breaks. Also want to shout out the way that Louis like bounces and struts after catching this goal. Just like watch it. It's so fun.
Arya Kishner sending it. Oof. Mine.
That strut right there. That. Buckets.
Barter on the pull. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Cherry picks up. Time to Elmi. Buns out the stack. Hey, good catch. Jocelyn's son with the sure hands. Tanner as well. Goes out the basement to get that one. Cherry zips it in to Rolling. Rolling puts it on a platter. Schlesinger rights the ship for Seattle as they get a hold. Goes back up by 2.
It can be so hard as a team when your opponents are just putting up runs after runs. You're like in that, you're like, okay, we just gotta get a hold because we gotta get back out on D. Because once you're able to build up that series of breaks, there's such this like mental like meltdown of like, how do we stop the bleeding? It's just these errors, we keep getting punished. And so like this one hold has sort of outsized importance because now you get to shift your mind frame and you get to put your D-line back out there. And even though, you know, Seattle has players that are playing both O and D, right? Like we saw Rolling was just on for that point, is now on for this point. We do have smaller rosters because it is a showcase game. But even if it's the same players, but you're starting on D, you have this mental ferocity and it feels different than when you're starting on offense.
For sure.
And it's easier to throw zone sets like the 3-person cup that Tempest is running right now when you're starting on D.
Kircher lets it go. Ooh, upstairs. Limp back to Kircher to Williams. The wild connection is alive and well.
I think Jezerski touched that.
It looks like it. But what a good run there by Williams. We'll see in the replay here.
But yeah, like you said, that wild connection between Kircher and Williams. Kircher did a great job, you know, like having the experience of the regular season of knowing that Seattle's gonna throw this and like what the soft spots in the zone are. No hesitation, Kircher just bombs it. Great positioning by Limp there.
Limp getting up. Oh, I think Jezerski did get a fingertip on that.
Those are so hard when you're like, I touched it and you still score.
Dance party. Waiting for the pull. Love to see it. As this one stays in bounds. Cherry picks up. Tanner gets the center. Puts it back to Cherry. Lets it go. Whiffler in pursuit. Also with Yason, but Kelly Tam. Sure hands. 2 hands for safety. Just outside of the hands of Han. The lefty over and around. Connects downfield. That's Lauren Meyer in the end zone.
Having Cherry pick up in those positions, I think really plays to Cherry's strength. You know, as a left-handed player, Cherry has absolutely honed in on her around, and that break is just absolutely lethal. And I, like, from marking up on Cherry, I remember standing there knowing, you want to throw this throw. I'm going to stand in this lane and I'm going to make it almost impossible for you to throw this around on me. And watching as Cherry still gets it off, almost regardless of what the mark is. And that's exactly what Cherry did right here. And it speaks to the chemistry that Meyer has with Cherry from having played. Meyer cuts directly to that space for Cherry to put it out into. Easy money goal for Tempest.
Easy money. The total, or the difference is now 2 again. With under 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Jezerski sends us into it. Harder to Kircher. Louis, nothing doing. Sails over top. Sue picks up. Straight to Kirkland with no mark. Rolling, connects. It's Jezerski. Ooh. Kishner with a finger or a full hand. Says nah. As Kircher walks it to the line, just under 1 minute remaining. The West with time here. Gamrot with a big under. Pump fake, sends Louis up line. Oh, nice swivel. Kirkland insta shot. Ooh! Jocelyn's son. Woo, with the block and the run.
That is showcase game material right there.
Oh yeah, the crowd's loving that one. Bookends.
Sun making their debut with the Tempest in this game. Perspective 2025 Tempest player. Mark it here, you saw it first.
Oh yeah. Flip the left. Stop playing. That's textbook.
Also textbook form on that bid, right?
Guide hand down. Love a good guide hand.
Chest first, swan dive. Absorb all that impact. Really great work. I'm excited to watch Sun play more frisbee. 30 seconds left in the half. Rolling here with the pole.
Rolling with the muscles out.
Seattle only ahead by 3.
Over the top. Oof. Tough read. Elmy directs traffic. Walks away. Rather be the reset. Seattle will get the final possession. Rodenberg. Now to Elmy. Special delivery.
Remember that in the WUL, even when the clock winds down to 0, you still do get to play out that possession. So Seattle didn't have to rush to score. They were able to take their time with that clean offensive possession to stick another one in and close out this quarter, close out this half, 13-9.
Rodenberg, second team all WUL, first team all Seattle's Heart. As that is the first half. I'm Zigno Zag.
I'm Charlie Mercer.
And we'll see you in the second.
Fish in pursuit, but it is caught. Teresa Zettner.
What an incredible!
Oh, my goodness, the layout grab from Chris Justin Pajunas.
I just stood up. I couldn't even sit for that. First of all, the angle of that throw. Second of all, the finish. And watch the inside out. Just look at the angle of this throw. What a great grab.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Sue, and I'm number 24. This year's team is going to look a little bit different, but I'm excited to see this version of Tempest build our identity and find our way to play and represent Seattle as a new group. Winning back-to-back titles was awesome, but we never want to be satisfied with what we've achieved in the past. I'm sure that this year's Tempest team is going to be hungry to grow and improve, and I'm excited to continue to build chemistry and dial in our systems.
OT.
Number 7, Giants and Chargers, Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute.
Nope. Looks like that's Western Ultimate League Frisbee. I'd know it anywhere.
It looks like Cody Lippincott, right? Laying out, well done.
All right, so I'm going to just guess.
Hi, my name is Ikra Nilmi, or Icky. I'm number 0 on the Seattle Tempest. I feel excited. I'm excited to meet new players and continue playing with old players. Some personal goals that I have for this season is hitting the gym. Another goal that I have is just enjoying the process of playing on the Tempest team. I feel like last year it went by really fast and I don't really have as much memorable memories that I would like to have. So this year, cherishing time with players. I think the Tempest 24 is capable of doing anything that we set our minds to, as long as we're committed to our goals. I think we can achieve maybe winning the championship.
Hey, my name is Drea Broma. I'm number 23 on Tempest, and this is my interview.
What are some personal goals you have for this upcoming season?
I want to get more highlights. It's fun to see myself on the screen.
What
do you think this team is capable of going into this season?
And 3-peat, right? That's the whole goal. If not winning, what else is there?
This is in Tempest's hand, and as well as a second championship.
What feels different going into this season?
Ooh, for us, I think it's all about chemistry building and about kind of figuring out what kind of team this year would be.
What do you think this team can improve on even after winning back-to-back titles?
There's always something to improve, right? But I think it's maintaining our solid foundation and building on individual highlights, and just if you're good at something, why not showcase that?
We believe that women and non-binary athletes deserve to be seen and our abilities showcased for the world to see.
We believe in perpetuating Ultimate by establishing professional teams and developing future generations of players.
We believe players of all identities and backgrounds deserve an equal opportunity to be recognized and lauded for our achievements in our sport.
We believe in sustainably and responsibly creating equitable and accessible avenues for women and non-binary athletes to join and participate in our sport.
We believe that being transparent, open,
and responsive to criticism is critical,
and that there should always be space
to fix our mistakes, grow,
and be better.
We are the Western Ultimate League.
Hi, I'm Sadie Jezierski. I'm number 77 and I play for Seattle Tempest. I would love to play with even more joy that I had last year. I think last year was just like a lot of growing, getting to know people here and in the community since I was so new to Seattle. I think now that I kind of have my feet under me and kind of get to know people more, I just really want to play with a lot of joy and just play to win. I think for the team, just obviously every team's different, every vibe is different in culture. So with this year, a new team and new people coming in, it's just going to be totally different in how people adjust and how people help each other out. And I think that's just one big difference, but it's a really great one. I think this upcoming season is going to be really awesome. I think we have a lot of room to grow even from last season. I think we're definitely capable of winning again. I mean, Seattle is such a great hub for Ultimate. Everyone wants to get better. Everyone wants to improve each other. I think that just shows within our play and with winning back-to-back championships also.
Fish in pursuit, but it is caught. Teresa Zettner.
What an incredible!
Oh, my goodness, the layout grab from Kristen Pajunas.
I just stood up. I couldn't even sit for that. First of all, the angle of that throw. Second of all, the finish. And watch the inside out. Just look at the angle of this throw. What a great grab.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Sue, and I'm number 24. This year's team is going to look a little bit different, but I'm excited to see this version of Tempest build our identity and find our way to play and represent Seattle as a new group. Winning back-to-back titles was awesome, but we never want to be satisfied with what we've achieved in the past. I'm sure that this year's Tempest team is going to be hungry to grow and improve, and I'm excited to continue to build chemistry and dial in our systems.
OT. Number 7, Giants and Chargers, Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute.
Nope. Looks like that's Western Ultimate League Frisbee. I'd know it anywhere.
It looks like Cody Lippincott, right?
Mm-hmm.
Laying out, well done.
All right, so I'm going to just guess.
Hi, my name is Ikra Nilmi, or Icky. I'm number 0 on the Seattle Tempest. I feel excited. I'm excited to meet new players and continue playing with old players. Some personal goals that I have for this season is hitting the gym. Another goal that I have is just enjoying the process of playing on the Tempest team. I feel like last year it went by really fast and I don't really have as much memorable memories that I would like to have. So this year, cherishing time with players. I think the Tempest 24 is capable of doing anything that we set our minds to, as long as we're committed to our goals. I think we can achieve maybe winning the championship.
Hey, my name is Drea Broma. I'm number 23 on Tempest, and this is my interview.
What are some personal goals you have for this upcoming season?
I want to get more highlights. It's fun to see myself on the screen.
What says no?
What do you think this team is capable of going into the season?
Man, 3-peat, right? That's the whole goal. If not winning, what else is there?
This is in Tempest's hand, and as well as a second championship.
What feels different going into this season?
Ooh, for us, I think it's all about chemistry building and about kind of figuring out what kind of team this year would be.
What do you think this team can improve on even after winning back-to-back titles?
There's always something to improve, right? But I think it's maintaining our solid foundation and building on individual highlights, and just if you're good at something, why not showcase that?
We believe that women and non-binary athletes deserve to be seen and our abilities showcased for the world to see.
We believe in perpetuating Ultimate by establishing professional teams and developing future generations of players.
We believe players of all identities and backgrounds deserve an equal opportunity to be recognized and lauded for our achievements in our sport.
We believe in sustainably and responsibly creating equitable and accessible avenues for women and non-binary athletes to join and participate in our sport.
We believe that being transparent,
open,
and responsive to criticism is critical,
and that there should always be space
to fix our mistakes,
grow, and be better.
We are the Western Ultimate League.
Oi, welcome back to Occupy Duwamish Territory. I'm Digno Zag.
I'm Charlie Mercer.
And we're here for the second half of the Tempest versus the West. The Tempest went up by a lot early, and then the West came storming back. And then the Tempest went on a mini run to end the first half, if you're just tuning in. And yeah, both these teams kind of like out of season right now, working on getting their chemistry right here for the second half, showing what they got.
Yeah, the West is coached today by Grace, quote unquote, Goose Gaussman, and Grace is is in grad school at UW, plays for the UW team, has also played in Arizona some, and was really talking and thinking about what to do with this West roster, really relying on the strength of the players and the ferocity that they have to go get after it. And, sort of, thinking of herself less as a coach and more as like a guide to greatness, helping to usher them along.
Kind of like the channel guides from our cable era.
The way that Cheryl Sue guides this team, running that backfield.
With the clicker. Elmi all the way around. Seattle looking like they have some juice right now. Here's Elmi. Back to Sue. Good read, Whipfler. Seattle with the opening half goal with some good execution.
Yeah, that was a really clean possession from Seattle. That is how Seattle looks when they are at their best and when they're sort of in that peak form. So we started the half at 12-9. We should be at 13-9 now. The observer you just saw on your screen, who goes by nickname Vern, was coaching up at the Select Flight Invite earlier today in Burlington. So he, some of these players are playing up at the Select Flight Invite earlier today. Vern observed all of those games all day and then was like, I can observe more games? Let me come down to the showcase game and keep observing.
You gotta observe the grind as the West is moving and grooving. Lets it go. Kircher looking deep. Cameron puts a hand on it. Oh, good look there.
That's a place where the communication that I was talking about beforehand would have been really useful, right? Like,
yeah.
Cameron was, reasonably in position, but with Zolk right behind her, like, that's where Zolk needs to be like, hey, I'm here, yield to me, because, Zolk had a slightly better position and also has, at least a couple inches on Cameron, making that grab easier.
Jezerski loading up, decides to reset instead. Rodenberg still open. Gets it. cherry. Ugh, lefty. Puts it in the bucket. Jezierski lets it go. Rodenberg going. That's a good option. Give me that. Rodenberg snatches it out the sky.
I really appreciate how Rodenberg was super clearly aware of the two defenders on either side of her, Kamrat and Kircher, and just sort of trying to see, like, timing her run and how close they were for when she had to sort of, like, reach out and optimizing for how long she could wait. I think we'll get a look at it in the replay. Knowing that she has the yards.
Ooh.
And just like, do I have enough space to go with the two hands? No. Okay, I'm just gonna snag it with one because I can feel the camera's about to close. I gotta close it.
Gotta close the deal. Seattle now up 5.
Your scoreboard on your at home is wrong. It is 14-9, not 15-9. With just under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Rolling, sends it. Some good hang time on this one. Tanner, oof, couple steps away from making a play. Pressure anyway. Seattle with another chance to add to their total. Here's Rolling. Ooh. PN goes for it, doesn't get it. Rolling, puts it on a platter. Lexi Garrity gets another goal. Seattle rolling right now.
Oh, it's great to see Garrity back on the field after some of their, ground collisions earlier.
Aforementioned, yeah.
Garrity's doing what Garrity does, scoring goals, looking good. Garrity is a teacher at a local Seattle private school. Really believes in, infusing a variety of perspectives into her teaching with kids and trying to help them think about logical consequences for their actions. So, rather than just sort of having indiscriminate punishments, it's sort of like, well, if you, it's a good example. If you don't practice, you're not going to get good enough, and so the logical consequence is you don't make the team, right? There are those sorts of things that, where whatever the consequence is deeply connected to the action that preceded it.
Mm-hmm. Here's Hahn, loads up like a nacho. Ooh, Williams collects.
Nice D by Kirkland there to force that, that pass pretty far backwards into the side.
Barter to Williams, upstairs. Somebody's home. That's a goal. Safely done. The West now in double digits.
Tempest needs someone that can shut down Williams. Right now, Williams is really able to run the field deep right now.
Cass collects the pass. You ask someone to stop him, it's like a tall task. Whew.
Seattle leading 15-10. Williams just strutting along on the sideline there as we get ready for our next point. PN pulling for the West. The West has a really hard task of trying to generate energy with players that they don't know particularly well and without having a home crowd in front of them. Being that visiting team is definitely a challenge.
Cushy digs it out of the ground there. Keeping it alive for Seattle here. Here's Sue. Up the middle to Tanner. Here's Cushy. In rhythm. Lets it go to Rolling. That's a good idea. Easy does it. Buns with another goal.
One of the unique characteristics about Memorial Stadium is the way the sun sets and how that casts a field of shadows all over the playing area. And so we can, you know, it means that the players on the field, there's not just the, you know, competing against each other for the disc. There's also this element of competing against the sun. And so the West right now is looking straight into the sun as they are throwing. And it makes it harder to find and locate the players, your like intended receiver downfield, because everything just sort of blends together. And as the sun is setting, the like shadows continue to creep more and more over the field.
For sure. Going into the shadow, coming out of the sun. It's hard to judge things. Oh, a straight rocket. And there it goes. There it goes. That's 4.
And on Williams, no less. To be fair, I think that Barter needed to adjust the placement of where that, you know, Barter was so clearly, did a great job driving downfield, but was just gonna kind of throw it regardless. And I think that Barter needed to put more edge on it to the back shoulder because Rolling did clearly have that inside position.
Could have stepped a little more as well. Here's Kircher directing traffic. There's that communication we were talking about. Here's Barter again. Connects. This is Zulk. Puts it on a rope, and Peacock claps it in the end zone.
Peacock talks about some of their strengths on the field as, you know, the timing of their cuts, their field awareness, and their continuation throws. And I think that's, you know, part of what we've seen highlighted for them, right? Like their ability to find the space and break away at just the opportune moment to create the separation and put them in that scoring position. Really timing her cuts well off of Zulk to be open.
It kind of feels like double dutch. Like, when do I hop in? All right, I'm here, and I'm in.
I love double dutch.
Double dutch is a good time. The scariest part is knowing when to jump in. No, but once you're in, it's on and hopping.
Just like this game.
Indeed. Tanner gets it to Sue. Powerfully lets it go. Floating. Cameron gets a hand in there. The West with another chance to cut into the total. Here's Han. Oof. Good placement. Oof. Back and forth we go. Seattle here with a nice inside shot. That was Sue. Lee. The crowd getting live here. I hear them. Here's Whiffler working with Sue, who is putting it on the money right now. Oh, in the basket.
Third goal for Whiffler tonight.
X-ray vision.
This is after Whiffler already played 2 games today.
Oof. Athlete.
For sure. Seattle now up 17-11.
Wow, it's gonna be a beautiful sunset here in Seattle. You see that golden hour glow. Oof.
Is it going to be the alpenglow, do you say?
Ah, could be. The Western Ultimate League.
Speaking of the Western Ultimate League, the Western Ultimate League recently appointed a new executive director. Nicole Nurmiller has been appointed the new ED for the WL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Nicole.
Uh-huh. So she really specializes in program management and design. She has worked for a number of nonprofits, both, in Seattle and in the Bay Area. And, the WL is really lucky to have her at the helm. So really excited about her leadership.
The league should be in good hands now. Back to the game. Here's Jezerski with that nice around backhand. Gets it right back. Kirkland delivers. Now Decker. Finds Kirkland. Throw and go. What do you know? Seattle adding on.
Another shot of a bunch of the Cascades players hanging out, supporting their friends. Decker moved to Seattle a couple years ago, and I think when she first moved, had a little bit of a hard time, kind of breaking into the scene. And now that she's here, just melds so effortlessly with these other Seattle players and contributes by, through driving with her legs to generate space. And I think that's definitely one of Decker's specialties.
Oh, yeah. Decker does be moving. I play Goldie, and she is a tough guard.
Well, I don't need rolling to play anymore. She already hit my 4Gs. You set a new line?
We want some more. What do you got? Goals? I think she's at 3.
Yeah. Do
Maybe.
you think she can get to 4 across all categories of blocks, goals, and
Ooh.
assists?
That's the double stuff. Yeah, I think that's the new one.
She's gonna have to throw more assists.
Yeah. Here's Kishner. Collects to Louis. Interesting bailout. Gets there. Elmi with some pressure.
Nice work by Elmi there, really taking the inside angle. That's a play that I think could sometimes generate contact, but I think Elmi did a great job keeping it really clean.
Speaking of clean, Lexi Garrity puts one up. Is it going to stay in bounds? Negative. Looks like there is a foul on the throw. Garrity calling for it back. No contest from Louis. We love hand signals. Don't need no... subtitles for that. As we're tapped back in, pre-stall initiated, and we're live. Garrity finds Decker, keeping the possession alive. Ooh, lets it rip. Garrity running. What's up, bro? Yep.
With another goal.
Easy money.
That feels like the kinds of goals that Sue would typically score, right? Like, as the handler busting up line. Lexi did the real work of that going deep. I think that there was a little bit of a breakdown in the Tempest offense where Decker, you're not seeing it on this replay, but Decker was all alone. Decker had no reset. And there were just 6 people in a vertical stack in front of her. And so shooting it deep to Garrity it was a smart play, but it was also kind of the only play that was available. So I think that Sue did a good job generating motion through her legs and driving up line for that short little continue for Garrity for the goal.
Yeah, looking forward to like next year. I think Decker really ingratiating herself into the team. I think Decker is set up to have a nice year next year, especially if she continues to make throws like that. The pull goes out of bounds. Walking into the middle is Kircher.
And a bunch of fans dancing.
Ooh. Take it back now, y'all. Here's Kelly Tam on the under.
Sliding it over to Kircher with this jaw slide.
Indeed. Oh, yeah.
They were supposed to put up the hook as you said yes. That was the timing we needed.
Yanks it. Jezierski comes down. Up to Kirkland. Cherry, here's Jezierski. Lets it go for Whippler. Gets on her horse. Hey! Another one for Jezierski to Whippler. 2 games, you said? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, this is 3. I coached him. I'm real clear. I just want to draw a quick contrast between the throw that Barter put up on that got blocked, and the throw that Jezierski just put up, and the key difference in their throwing form. So Barter is just throwing with their arms, and they're sort of short arming it. But on Jezierski's cup, you can see how she winds up with the entirety of her body to generate power, which allows her to be able to throw it super far in front of Whippler, so that Whippler's the only player that could possibly get it, because she's getting so much torque from her hips, and that's where the power is coming. Whereas for Barter, it's really just coming from their arm, and you can only get so much power from your arm. So, lesson to be learned. Use your hips when you're throwing. Throw like Jezierski.
Hartnett puts it in the bucket. Peacock.
Catch like Peacock. Score goals like Peacock. But throw it like Jezierski.
Boom, boom. Quick answer by the West. Just over 1 minute remaining in the third.
Again, we were talking about Peacock doing a really great job on their continuation cuts, like finding that timing. And, it's through that is seen here.
There was only one side of the zipper. Yeah. That's why I was like.
Their timing is what's getting them open.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, good time.
Seattle firmly in control of this showcase game. It's got to feel good. This has got to feel good for Seattle after having a somewhat disappointing season. After being 2-time defending WL champions and then not making championship weekend, this feels like a little bit of redemption of like, no, we still got it. We are still here to play.
Oh yeah.
In fact, we're going to put up more goals than the Cascades did in their silly playoff game just before us.
Silly little playoff game. Lexi Garrity thinks better of not shooting it. Back to Kirkland. Now Cherry.
Decker completely unguarded.
All hands on deck. Called up. Unsure is the rest of the field. But play continues. Kirkland rifles it in. Rolling. Upstairs for Rodenberg. Hello. Throw and go. Here's Decker. Last possession here. Play continues. Decker, having a year into the league, knows to keep running and rolling with another goal.
Has averaged 4 in the goal count, 4 in the block count.
4. One more 4. Need some assists.
But 0 in the assist count.
Also, we all went, ah, and didn't throw it.
75 cents on the dollar. Third quarter wrapping up here as we take a look at the replay.
Decker really driving this point, like nice grab, throwing that assist right out to space for rolling. I think that, this game has really been a come-out game for Decker, where there's just more space for Decker to show off what they're capable of doing. Keep watching Decker coming up in this fourth quarter. Seattle up 22-12.
In pursuit, but it is caught. Teresa Zettner.
What an incredible!
Oh, my goodness, the layout grab from Kristen Pajunas.
I just stood up. I couldn't even sit for that. First of all, the angle of that throw. Second of all, the finish. And watch the inside out. Just look at the angle of this throw. What a great grab.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Sue, and I'm number 24. This year's team is going to look a little bit different, but I'm excited to see this version of Tempest build our identity and find our way to play and represent Seattle as a new group. Winning back-to-back titles was awesome, but we never want to be satisfied with what we've achieved in the past. I'm sure that this year's Tempest team is going to be hungry to grow and improve, and I'm excited to continue to build chemistry and dial in our systems.
OT. Number 7, Giants and Chargers, Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute here.
Looks like that's Western Ultimate League Frisbee. I'd know it anywhere.
It looks like Cody Lippincott, right? Mm-hmm. Laying out, well done.
All right, so I'm going to just guess.
Hi, my name is Ikran Ilmi, or Icky. I'm number 0 on the Seattle Tempest. I feel excited. I'm excited to meet new players and continue playing with old players. Some personal goals that I have for this season is hitting the gym. Another goal that I have is just enjoying the process of playing on the Tempest team. I feel like last year it went by really fast and I don't really have as much memorable memories that I would like to have. So this year, cherishing time with players. I think the Tempest 24 is capable of doing anything that we set our minds to, as long as we're committed to our goals. I think we can achieve maybe winning the championship.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter, just about ready to get underway. I'm Zigno Zag.
I'm Charlie Mercer, and that was a stunning shot of Memorial Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Here under the Space Needle with the Mopop Museum in the background. Lovely Seattle fans welcoming us. This is going to be the last time we get to commentate at Memorial Stadium. It's such a beautiful place that we are. This stadium that's right in the heart of Seattle.
Truly been blessed. I love coming to work here. Hopefully we can come back one day.
Memorial Stadium, where we are in the middle, it's Seattle Center, is undergoing some renovation. So it is being torn down and replaced by a new state-of-the-art stadium. And so the Tempest and the Cascades will be finding a new home next year as that process is happening. But we hope to be back at Memorial Stadium in several years once it is new and improved. But really making sure we savor this opportunity, you know, not just as the last home game for Seattle of the season, but also in this stadium.
Mm-hmm. The Tempest, after the year not making the playoffs, not like they're used to, they are still getting buckets. It doesn't matter. Meyer in the end zone. That's Cheryl Sue doing what they do. But yeah, Tempest under construction and will be state of the art next season, is what I was trying to say.
Meyer was a rookie for Tempest this past year, but really effective. Their growth trajectory is really high. Their ability to play tight, gritty defense on anyone and find those opportunities like that to create separation and isolation going deep. Nice placement by Sue, but also, you know, good on Meyer for you know, taking advantage of that opportunity. Before the game, I told Jezerski to throw some buckets for me. She said she would. She has been. Let's see. Another point. If Jezerski's pattern is holding, she will, since she's on, she'll be involved in the score one way or another.
Ooh, good pull here. Letting the defense get down there and set. Here's Hahn. Ooh, through the traffic. Communicating with fakes, love to see it. Here's Tuh. Doesn't like it. Shot has to go up. Kircher, first to the spot, and then puts it out there. Tuh toes it in. The West back on the board.
Nice little kick spike there. That was a really solid offensive possession from the West. They have a lot to be proud of there.
It was tough.
Down the sideline, Kircher reaching out. Two defenders sandwiching to.
There's a little bit of a bailout there. Kircher, the first one to read it. But you got to play the cards you're dealt.
Kircher's fun fact is they've gradually improved their vision over the last 2 years by about 2 prescription points.
Ah.
How do you do that?
Literally. Full goes out of bounds. Seattle will take it from the middle. This is Tanner. Short field here for Seattle. Their side stack. It's ready to pop into action here. Here's Rolling on the under. Combos well. Finds Rodenberg. Rodenberg, little float. Emily Decker snags it out of the sky. Whoa.
That grin on her face, Decker knows that she's having herself a game right now. You just gotta give Decker the space, let her take over.
Hard work pays off. Alright. Just over 10 minutes remaining.
Seattle up by 11. Pretty dominant performance from Seattle right now. Even some of the small executions, you know, are leading. Rodenberg put it maybe a little bit floatier than intended, but it creates that opportunity for Decker to be like, nah, it's fine, I'm just gonna go roof some people. I'm gonna go deck her. That's a Macarena going. party. We got to dance.
Jezerski sends us into the point. Here comes Barter. Kircher. Zalk comes down with it. Some good legs moving here for the West on this point. Stalling a little bit. Working that parabola. Oof. Just outside the grid. Cherry walking it to the line. Gets it off the line. Backing on the forehand side to Lee.
The Seattle offense is really deep and far away from their handlers right now.
Whiffler on the doorstep.
Molly Waringa with the goal there from Jezerski.
Good combo there at the front of the stack. Break check.
How can Buns get all the assists if Jezerski just keeps taking them?
Just under 9 minutes now. Seattle up by 12. If I was on the West, I would try my hardest to get on the highlight reel.
I wanted to be on camera
That's what I would do.
next time, but then it was like.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be the play right
To
now.
my friend Alexa.
You know, okay, we're gonna amp it up and just like start bidding D. Like, we're not just under 9 minutes left. We're down by a lot. They have not quite doubled our score, but we're close. Goal of this game would really just be like, can we make ourselves look good? Can I make myself personally look really good?
Peacock threw some pressure. PN. Up to the middle. Here's Louie.
Who is making herself look good?
Yeah. Ooh. On a platter. Kishner. Ooh. Gotta applaud the effort there.
That was the time. That was the opportunity.
Elmi speed walks it to the line.
With intentionality.
Oh my gosh. Inside flick again. Cushy. With a dishy. Wow. Sends it to Cushy into the deep space.
That's an assist. That's one.
That is one. 3 more. 7 minutes. Possible.
Well, okay. So if Rolling has more than 4 in the block or more than 4 in the goal category, can I borrow some to put them into the assist category?
No.
So,
sorry.
okay, Rolling, so you can't score anymore. Because I need you to be locking up those assists when you're on the field.
That's not a triple-double then. That's a double-double with a remainder. Cushy having a good time. Really integral into that point.
Rolling getting put back on the field. Tempest realizing they only have 6 players. Rolling, yelling, "It's me!" as she runs into the field.
Wee!
Buckets of joy.
On with all day.
The West running an interesting stack that's really deep from this, from the get-go. Having some of the cuts come off the front of the stack instead of cuts just coming off the back of the stack.
Now Han has someone on them. Decker and Kircher. As Kircher lets it go. Reading it. Jezierski gets the double block.
Jezierski, made Adult Team USA, NBD. But it's because of plays like that and her ability to get blocks, not just throw all of those goals.
Decker, have yourself a day. Gains a lot of yards. 2 yards out. Back to Decker. Double Decker. Have yourself a day, Emily.
Breakout player of the game, Emily Decker. Was good before, but really taking her game to a holding level here. Players like Sue and Buns and Rolling and Jezierski, built up a lot of rep during the season. Mm-hmm. But Decker really shining here. Rodenberg, Sue, and Jezierski, 3 of the captains from this past season for the Tempest, and they are captaining the Tempest roster here tonight. So Rodenberg, racking up an assist as part of her captain duties. You got to lead on the field and off the field.
For sure. As Sue sends us into this point. 6 minutes remaining in this showcase. Kishner with the touch, connects to Elmi. Womp womp. Here comes Lee. Now Tanner. Whiffler's going. Ooh. PN gets the block twice just to be sure. Woo! There's nothing over there except Kishner laying out, keeping the point alive. Off to the races. No Kachow.
I think those are the throws that Dennehy, really wants to holster or put a bit more touch on them.
Injury. In comes Kamrat.
Louis going off the field. Looks like some sort of cramp.
Still no Pickles. Elmi. Wow. Good spot. Gets it right back. Fakes are going crazy here. Sue. Has play ensues. Here's Lee. Kishner leaving her feet. Trying to eat.
Kishner heard the assignment about getting on the highlight reel. Kishner's working.
Indubitably.
Throwing out all these big fancy words.
I've seen a dictionary once or twice.
Just thing with Waringa.
Disagreement on the stall count. Elmi. Veteran hands. Through the contact. All the way around. Here's Lee. Ugh. Leaving their feet. Let's play catch. All right, let's go this way. Wow. Elmi and Sue's inside forehands. Elite.
Yeah, this is a really good offensive possession for the two of them. They're just absolutely controlling the ball in the backfield.
Oh my gosh. GPS. Cheryl Sue racking up the goals. Just racking them up.
I really love how they were kept finding each other as they were going, and their ability to just like move it laterally back and forth, you know, take the slashes upfield, you know, and also really communicating with, like, you can see Elmi communicating with her hands, being like, no, come back, you know, and like with the fakes of her throws, it shows, you know, we were talking about communication earlier, like even when you have played with players for a long time, you still need to continue communicating with other ways to help support your success on the field.
Another thing that I really want to shout out is like just the camaraderie that I've seen. Even as Seattle's scoring, the West is still smiling, having a good time. You love to see it. That's Kircher, collects, centers to Barter. I think it's a good test for some of these prospect Tempest players to get a chance to guard Kircher, who is integral to a real offense.
Or Williams.
As well. Okay, good movement here. Pick, perhaps? Indeed. Oh, stall zero hammer. It's a peacock. It works out. Just kidding. It's coming back. I think maybe a pre-stall violation.
Yeah, so, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about WL rules, that pre-stall, there's a period of time where the players can move, but the thrower cannot have any sort of throwing motion during that time because the disc has not come back in yet. So for players who aren't used to playing with the WL rule set, that's one of the particular rules to get accustomed to.
Barter leaves their feet, keeps the disc alive for the West. 1 minute 30 remaining. Puts it to a spot. Williams upstairs. Oof. Contact.
Calling the foul from on the ground. We got the gulls in the background for us.
Cushy and Williams talking it out.
One of the cool things about Ultimate, you know, is that it is a self-officiated sport, so there is this opportunity for these players to talk. And I think that is also the insertion of the observers to help speed things along. So that, you know, Williams and Cushy are clearly having a really thoughtful and intentional conversation, but at some point in time, we need the play to continue.
Yeah.
And so you could see the observer insert himself into the conversation to keep play moving, to get some sort of resolution.
Kind of like stirring the pot so it doesn't get stuck and burnt on one spot. Ugh. Schlesinger. Wow. Cherzerski. Up top, here's Cushy. Back to Decker. Into the middle. Kirkland. Decker's on the move. Nope. Gets pump fake. Jezerski with that around shot. Give and go. Let's play catch. Yeah. Cushy in the end zone. I believe that is bookends. Get your library card.
This will almost certainly be the last possession of the game. The West receiving with 6 seconds left on the clock. And again, because of the WL rule set, even after time expires, the West will have time to complete the possession, so they could end this game on a goal. Cushy doing a great job there, driving with her legs, being back in that handler space. I think that adaptability is sort of a new dimension to her game, and something that she really has gained in the offseason and, throughout the time of her injury.
No cameras, no cameras.
You earned the fame through your play. Gotta hype it up. Ooh, you think Rowling can get 3 assists in this 1 point?
Unlikely.
Dang.
But 4 and 4 and 1's pretty good. There's PN. Centers. 3 seconds until it's their disc. 1 second is Zalk. This is the last possession. On. Let's go out on a banger. Ooh, snags it in. Sabina Hartnett gets the last goal of the game for the West.
That was a banger. Nice touch by Han. Good on Hartnett for reeling that in with that snazzy grab.
Oh yeah, a great showcase.
Seattle takes the win 29-13 against the West. Seattle really offering a complete performance, showing their versatility with, their away shots, working it under a variety of offensive sets, a variety of defensive sets, and at the end of the day, what's important here is that we're creating more opportunities to showcase women and non-binary players playing Ultimate and giving them the chance to have players watching them in the stadium, you listening in at home, hype up these players. They are doing work here out on the field, and huge appreciation to the Tempest leadership for creating this opportunity, not just for the players on this field, but for all of you watching at home. This is truly a gift to the Seattle Ultimate community. Thank you for this.
I'm Zig Nozak.
I'm Charlie Mercer.
And we'll see you next year.